Hello, in this video I'll be showing you how to use grid view in Flutter. So this is the demo of the app that we are going to build, where we do the free JSON web service integration in a grid view and add each cell click and do a image transition and show the record count in the title. As usual, I'll be starting with an empty template and I'm going to show you the service, the free JSON web service that we are going to use. I'll be providing this link in the description, which has this kind of records with album ID, title, URL and the thumbnail URL. It has around 5000 records, so you can use it freely. So first thing is we need to create a model for this record. So for that we need to create a new file. So go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to name it album.art and I'm going to create a class album which takes the album ID, title, URL and the thumbnail URL. So add the constructor with all those member variables. Okay, and now I'm going to write a method that accepts a JSON and convert that to a album object and return it. So return album and album ID, get the album ID from JSON as integer, and similarly we will do the ID, title, URL and the thumbnail URL. Alright, the title is a string, URL is a string and thumbnail URL is also a string. Okay, now let's create another file, name it services.dart. We are going to write the service to get the data from this web service. Okay, let's import the necessary packages. We will need the dart convert package. The second one we will need is HTTP package. You need to add this library in the pubspec.yaml file. The third one we need is the album package, album file. So there is it. I have added it already. I can provide the link in the description, and I'm going to write a method, a variable, and copy the URL and initialize it. And now I am going to write a method that will return a future list of albums. Because it is an async method, this is going to get the service data. Let's wrap it inside a catch, try catch, and catch the error and throw it back. Alright, now inside the try catch I'm going to get the response, that will be final response equal to await http.get with the URL. So once we get it, we will check the status code. So if it is 200, we will parse the response and get the list of albums. Alright, so I'm going to write a method parse photos, which will take the response body as a parameter. Now write the get photos method that will return the list of albums, and I'm going to declare a variable parsed that will do a JSON decode on the response body and cast it to a map string and dynamic, since we have both integer and string, and we got the JSON objects. Now map it to each album object. So pass it to album dot from JSON, that will return each album object and convert that to a list. So we got the list of objects. Now return it, else we'll throw another exception. We'll say just error. Alright, we can remove that new here. Okay, now I'm going to create new file, say grid cell. So this is for each cell in the grid. So this is a UI. So we need the material package, import the album, and I'm going to call the class album cell that extends stateless widget because we don't need any state in here, and declare the constructor which takes the album parameter, so that is required one, so give the required annotation and final album. Alright, so it needs to implement the build method, right? So let's write the build method that will take the build context, okay, and return card. So card is a widget. I'm going to give it a rounded rectangle border with a border radius dot circular with a 10. Now next thing we are going to do is give it a colors dot white, and a child. I'm going to give it a padding with a padding of say 10, and now we are going to give the child is a container with alignment center, and let's provide the child as a column. We need a image and a text one below the other, so let's center it and set the main axis to minimum and provide the children. The first child is an image that is downloaded from the thumbnail URL. Alright, so I'm going to wrap it inside a flexible widget. I'm going to do a clip rectangle. I need a border radius of 10. I want a slide curve on the image, so I am providing that. Now as a child, I'm giving the fade image dot asset network. It will download the image from the network. As a placeholder image, I am providing a default no image that I have added it in my resources, and image will be album dot thumbnail URL with a width and height of 100. Okay, now we are going to add a text widget. So let's give some padding. So add the padding widget with a padding of 10 and child text, and the value would be album dot title, and max lines let's set it to 1, and soft wrap to true. And next one is the text align property. Set the text align to center. Okay, now let's give some style. That would be text style font size, set it to 20, and font weight would be font weight W500. Alright, now let's go back to the main file and import all those files that we need. Now we are going to add a flexible widget, and as a child we are going to provide a future builder, because we are going to call the service and get the data and set it in the grid view. So the future would be services.getPhotos, and the builder will get the context and the snapshot of the data coming from the service. So let's check if there is an error. So if the snapshot has an error, we will show a text with, let's say, snapshot dot whatever error it's throwing. Alright, now else if the snapshot has data, so it is a proper response. Now we will show the grid view. We will write it later. Else, till then we will show a circular progress bar. So I am going to write a small function for that. Okay, so let's write the circular progress method that will return a center widget. I want to show it in the center, so child will take a circular progress indicator. Alright, now we will return the grid view. So grid view, I'm going to write a method for that. Check the data type there. Okay, so grid view will take the snapshot that is of type async snapshot and list of album. Okay, so I'm going to add a padding to the grid view. You can add padding inside grid view as well. So the padding would be 5.0, and child as a grid view. So call gridview.count, and I am setting other properties. So it will be 2 column, and the aspect ratio, main axis spacing, cross axis spacing, so spacing between cells. All right, and children will be snapshot.data.map. So we have all the albums here, right? So convert that to list because it is expecting a list of children, and for each album we are going to return the UI for the row. So that will be a grid tile with a child, the album cell that takes the album as a parameter. Okay, done. Hot restart. There you see the grid view. Going to refresh it again. Okay, that's working. So let's click on each cell. So we didn't add the row click, so let's add that. For that you have to wrap the grid tile inside a gesture detector widget and make it as a child. All right, so gesture detector has a property called onTap that takes a function. So let's call a method cell click and pass the album parameter. So let's write that, and inside that we will print out the title. So tapped and album dot title. So let's run the app. Okay, click on each cell. So look at the console. You can see the title for each click. All right, now the next thing we are going to do is create another file. We are going to create a details page. So when we click on each cell, we will navigate to this page with the corresponding image. All right, so that accepts an album parameter, which is the required one. All right, so let's create the state, grid details. All right, now override the the build method that takes the build context and return a scaffold with the body as a container, and set the parameters, alignment to center, and set the margin to 30. All right, and a column. So I'm going to add a image and a button. So image will take the placeholder no image, and the image will be the bigger one, the URL. All right, so little bit of spacing and a button. Let's add the close button, and on press of the button we will pop this screen. All right, okay, so that needs the create state method. So let's override that and return the grid detail state. Okay, perfect. Now let's go back to our main file and write a method. Go to details page that will take the build context and the corresponding album object. So we will use the navigator.push method. The second parameter is material page route, and I'm going to make it a full screen dialog, and the builder will take the build context that will return the details screen. So let's import that first and write grid details that will take the current album. All right, let's format that. Okay, now copy the function and replace the cell click with this function. Now we don't need the cell click. Okay, run the app and let's click on each cell. It should navigate to the next screen. All right, so with the bigger image. Okay, so that is also working. Perfect. Now let's do the transition from the smaller image to the bigger image. So for that we need a widget called hero widget. So let's make the image as a child of the hero widget, and the important thing is it will take a tag. The tag should match the image that it is going to animate to. Alright, so I'm going to give it as image with the album ID. Alright, now let's go back to the details page and we have to do this same. Okay, go to the image and wrap it inside the hero widget, make it the child. Okay, so copy the tag from there and supply it here, and it will be widget dot, so widget is the global member, so widget dot current album dot id. Run the app, so click on each cell. Okay, so now it is animating to the bigger image, and till then it will show the placeholder image. Okay, once it is downloaded, it will nicely animate. All right. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing we are going to do is show the number of records in the title. So we will get the number of records inside the future builder, but we cannot do any set state there because it will trigger the UI and you will end up in a loop. Alright, so don't do that. So instead of that, we will use the stream controller. So import the async package and create a stream controller. Stream controller, you could do new stream controller. So we just need an integer type because we are just dealing with the count. All right, and don't forget to dispose the stream controller. So override the dispose method and call close on the stream controller. All right, now we are going to the title and wrap the text inside a stream builder. I'm going to set the initial data to 0 and stream to stream controller dot stream, and the builder will take two values. One is the context and the other one is the async snapshot. So that will be our new value. All right, so copy that and return the text inside that, and the value will change to widget dot title. Let's append that, and snapshot dot data. Now let's go inside the future builder where we have the grid view, and let's add that into our stream controller. Okay, snapshot dot data dot length. There we will get the count, and let's run the app. So you should see photos 5000. So we have 5000 records, right? So that's how you use the stream controllers. Don't forget to add it to sync, and it will output in the on the other side. So we will get it in the sync snapshot. All right, and so animating is also working perfect. So okay, we have 5000 records now. So let's do a small tweak. Let's see if the count is updating. So we will go to the service and remove the last record when we receive it. Okay, just for testing purpose. So I'm going to call list dot remove last, and it should show 4999. So hot restart the app. Okay, so that is also working perfect. So I'm going to remove that. All right, so so we have all the basic stuff for grid view, the animation, the row click, all those are there. Play around with it. So that's all about grid view for this video. If you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share the video, hit the bell icon below for notifications about my new videos. Also give me a thumbs up by hitting the like button below. Please leave your valuable comments below as well, and thanks for watching.